Andrzej Trzaskowski stands as a colossus in Poland's cultural landscape, a visionary pianist, daring composer, erudite musicologist, and charismatic bandleader who fundamentally reshaped the trajectory of jazz behind the Iron Curtain. Revered as the brain of Polish jazz by critics and peers alike, he masterfully synthesized America's bebop revolution with European avant-garde traditions, creating a distinctly Polish jazz idiom that thrived despite communist cultural restrictions. More than just a musician, Trzaskowski emerged as an intellectual architect of his nation's jazz renaissance, leaving behind a legacy that transcended music to become a subtle form of cultural resistance during Poland's most repressive decades. What distinguished Trzaskowski within Polish jazz was his singular capacity to traverse and ultimately unite three radically different spheres: the smoky underground jazz clubs of communist Poland, nicknamed as catacombs, the exacting world of European academic contemporary music, and the cutting-edge international jazz avant-garde. His career spanned 4 turbulent yet creatively fertile decades, from the Stalinist 1950s, when jazz was officially denounced as decadent Western music, through the political thaw of the 1960s, golden era of Polish jazz in the 1970s, to the martial law era of the 1980s, when his work took on new layers of metaphorical meaning. As a performer, he possessed a piano style that married modern jazz's harmonic with a peculiarly Slavic lyricism. As a composer, he fearlessly incorporated serialism, aleatoricism, and folk motifs into jazz structures. And as a thinker, his writings educated generations about jazz's transformative power. Born into Krakow's intellectual elite, his grandfather a distinguished linguist, his father a lawyer and accomplished amateur musician, Trzaskowski began his formal piano training at the remarkably young age of 4. His musical journey accelerated during high school when he joined amateur ensemble, the Rhythm Quartet, honing his craft in Krakow's burgeoning jazz scene. This early experience paved the way for his pivotal involvement with Melomani, Poland's first professional jazz band, under the leadership of Jerzy Dudusz Matuszkiewicz, often called the father of Polish jazz. It was within this groundbreaking ensemble that Trzaskowski formed his friendship with Krzysztof Komeda, a fellowship that would shape Polish jazz history. Their artistic kinship grew so profound that, in remarkable display of camaraderie, they even chose to celebrate their weddings on the same day in 1958, sharing both their personal milestones and musical visions. Trzaskowski's promising career faced sudden interruption in early 1950s when Poland's notorious security office, UB, arrested and imprisoned him for 3 months on suspicions of anti-state activities, a common pretext used against intellectuals during Stalinist purges. This political harassment forced him to postpone his musicology studies at Jagiellonian University, casting a shadow over what should have been his formative academic year. The experience, while disruptive, only deepened his artistic resolve, emerging as part of a generation of Polish artists who would learn to navigate the precarious balance between creative expression and political survival. Undeterred by these political persecutions, Trzaskowski pursued his musicology studies at Jagiellonian University from 1952 to 1957 with remarkable dedication. Simultaneously, he immersed himself in Poland's burgeoning Avant-Garde movement, studying experimental composition under two of its most radical innovators, Bogusław Schaeffer and Eugeniusz Rudnik. This dual education, formal academic training paired with cutting-edge musical exploration, culminated in 1957 when he defended his pioneering master's thesis, analyzing Charlie Parker's revolutionary bebop innovations, arguably the first serious academic treatment of modern jazz in communist Poland. Trzaskowski's artistic journey paralleled jazz's own metamorphosis in post-war Europe. Fresh from completing his studies in 1957, he made the crucial decision to leave Melomany, the ensemble that had launched his career, to co-found the progressive Jazz Believers alongside saxophonist Jan Petaszyn-Wróblewski. Their 1958 performance at Warsaw's inaugural Jazz Jamboree Festival marked both a personal and cultural milestone, introducing Poland to a daring new jazz vocabulary that blended Trzaskowski's academic rigor with Wróblewski's improvisational brilliance on what would become the country's most prestigious jazz stage. In 1959, Trzaskowski's hard bop quintet, the Wreckers, made history as the first Polish jazz group to tour the United States, delivering electrifying performances at legendary venues like New York's Village Vanguard. Their groundbreaking tour, a cultural breakthrough during the Cold War, drew rave reviews from the New York Times, which hailed their fiery precision and unexpected synthesis of American jazz energy with European sophistication. The 1960s witnessed Trzaskowski's artistic metamorphosis from accomplished pianist to visionary composer and bandleader. While his early work paid homage to bebop masters like Parker and Horace Silver, he soon transcended these foundations, developing a singular musical language that synthesized free jazz's spontaneity with the structural rigor of dodecaphony. This period saw him emerge as Poland's most audacious jazz innovator, one who could channel the raw energy of hard bop through the prism of European modernism, creating works that were both intellectually sophisticated and viscerally powerful. Throughout the 1960s, Trzaskowski also became Polish jazz's most sought-after collaborator when American jazz giants toured behind the Iron Curtain. His virtuosic musicianship and deep theoretical knowledge made him the ideal creative partner for visiting legends like Stan Getz, whose lyrical saxophone found surprising common ground with Trzaskowski's structured improvisations, hard bop pioneer Art Farmer, alto saxophonist Phil Woods, and the versatile Lucky Thompson. These cross-cultural collaborations not only elevated Poland's jazz prestige internationally, but also injected new ideas into Trzaskowski's evolving compositional approach. Trzaskowski's unique alchemy of avant-garde experimentation, structural rigor, and spontaneous improvisation reached its zenith in two landmark recordings for the prestigious Polish jazz series. His 1965 quintet album showcased a bold synthesis of bebop energy and dodecaphonic discipline, while 1966 Chant, featuring American trumpeter Ted Curson as guest soloist, pushed further into uncharted territory, merging free jazz's abandon with sophisticated musical architecture. These visionary works transcended their Cold War context to become enduring milestones, redefining what Polish jazz could aspire to artistically while maintaining vital connections to its American roots. As a pianist, Trzaskowski developed a singular style that distilled the fiery intensity of bebop and the harmonic refinement of cool jazz into the distinctly European sensibility. His playing was marked by crystalline articulation, architectural phrasing, and an improviser's mind that treated each solo as compositional statement, logical yet daring, emotionally direct yet structurally complex. The same intellectual rigor defined his original works, which wove classical forms from Baroque counterpoint to serialist techniques into jazz's improvisational fabric without sacrificing its spontaneity. Beyond his own artistry, Trzaskowski shaped Poland's jazz future through mentorship. A generous pedagogue, he nurtured younger talents like Tomasz Stanko, passing on both technical mastery and his conviction that jazz could be as conceptually ambitious as contemporary classical music, yet remain viscerally compelling. In my 2004 interview with Stanko, featured in episode 2 of this podcast series, the legendary trumpeter reflected warmly on Trzaskowski, describing him as not just an extraordinary musician and brilliant composer, but also a profoundly kind human being. Stanko credited his time in Trzaskowski's bands as an irreplaceable gift, one that granted him early exposure to some of the era's most innovative jazz voices. What stayed with Stanko most, however, was their unique artistic kinship, a bond he treasured long after. He admired Trzaskowski's rare blend of razor-sharp perception and deep emotional sensitivity, qualities that defined his music but also, as Stanko noted, made the relentless grind of the jazz life difficult for him to bear. In the mid-1960s, Trzaskowski embraced avant-garde jazz, integrating serialism, polymeter, and controlled aleatoricism into his work. A self-described dodecaphonist by conviction, he sought to merge European avant-garde traditions with the spontaneity of jazz improvisation. Among his standout compositions from this era were Synopsis, a three-part piece, and the ballet Nihil Est, which earned him third prize in the 1972 National Composition Competition. Beyond performing, Trzaskowski composed scores for more than 30 films between 1959 and 1990, including classics like Night Train, directed by Jerry Kawalerowicz, and Walkover, directed by Jerry Skolimowski. From 1974 onward, he directed the Polish Radio and Television Orchestra Studio S1, a seemingly conventional state ensemble that secretly served as a hub for avant-garde experimentation. He also collaborated with Germany's NDR radio station in Hamburg, composing music, leading jazz workshops, and lecturing on jazz composition. Throughout his career, Trzaskowski made significant contributions to music journalism as a regular writer for Jazz Forum magazine in Poland. He co-authored the Lexicon of 20th Century Composers and edited jazz entries for the PWM Music Encyclopedia. His prolific essays and critiques not only shaped Polish jazz discourse, but also boldly championed artistic freedom during the communist era, solidifying his legacy as both a groundbreaking musician and an influential intellectual. In his later years, Trzaskowski dedicated himself to education, serving as a lecturer at the State Music School's jazz department in Warsaw from 1992 onward. In 1995, his lifetime of artistic innovation was recognized by the government of newly democratic Poland with the prestigious Cross of Merit. Though he passed away on September 16, 1998, in Warsaw, his legacy endures as a powerful testament to jazz's transcendent nature, not merely as a musical form, but as a defiant language of freedom that resonated profoundly even under oppression.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, and directly on PolishJazz.com. Stay tuned to PolishJazz.com podcasts, where we explore the lives, works, and legacies of extraordinary Polish jazz innovators alongside key moments in Polish jazz history. Discover Polish jazz, a captivating treasure awaiting your exploration.